Hello, welcome back. I'm your host, Mohammed Bey. Welcome back to this special presentation of the Trade Brokers Diaries special presentation on Africa Open for Business. On this program, we're going to have a special conversation with the United States Ambassador from Liberia, Ambassador Extraordinaire and Plenipotentiary, Jeremiah C. Sulunteh, Ambassador of Liberia. Liberia has had a long and faithful history, particularly where America is concerned. It has struggled through many difficult conflicts and many difficult leaderships and periods. It has seen prosperity and war, but now Liberia is on the way up again. Recently, the Ebola crisis struck Liberia and caused its economic growth to suffer. However, since that time, the Ebola crisis has begun to subside, and Liberia is rallying once again. And now, our conversation with Ambassador Jeremiah C. Sulunteh. Ambassador Sulunteh, thank you very much for coming to our interview this afternoon, sir.
I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Not at all. It's clear that the Ebola outbreak has damaged the economic life of Liberia over years. Can you tell the viewers what priority the government is focusing on to recover from the Ebola outbreak, please?
Thank you so much for this opportunity to be able to discuss, especially the Ebola crisis in West Africa that has destroyed the lives of over 11,000. Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Liberia, specifically in Liberia, we lost about 4,700 of our compatriots. And the Ebola crisis affected our social, economic, and cultural lives. Economically, it was hard because the entire productive capacity shut down. It affected our GNP. Civil servants were not working. And it just exposed the fragility of our health infrastructure. When Ebola struck, we did not know how to distinguish the Ebola from malaria. And that really took a toll on the Liberian society. Currently, as we cautiously follow the end of the Ebola crisis, the government is now keen on recovery programs, looking at our healthcare system, looking at education, looking at the infrastructure, because due to the lack of infrastructure, it was difficult to have the healthcare workers moving from village to village or moving affected patients from one area to hospital. So the infrastructure is key, education is key, and the healthcare delivery system is key. That's what the government is focused on.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. And has the outbreak, the basic Ebola outbreak, what are the effects on the economy? And have these effects created new demands that were not previously visible or obvious in the Liberian economy, sir?
Well, definitely, it has impacted our own budget. We have a budget system that is based on revenue. And because of the Ebola crisis, we now have new demands in the healthcare system, in our educational system, that was not ordinarily seen. So they have put a lot of demand on the government, and put a lot of pressure on the government to be able to meet those areas of need for the Liberian people.
See. And before Ebola, what were the areas of the economy that showed the most growth, in your opinion, sir?
Well, Liberia has been really looking for rubber, timber, iron ore, and so we had our economy heavily rely on rubber. Firestone Plantation Company made Liberia the second largest producer of natural rubber in the world. Yes. We have 43% of the Guinea forest. We have good timbers. We have diamond, gold, and iron ore. So those are the key areas of natural resources.
I see. And turning to another matter, what is the policy stance of your Central Bank of Liberia with regard to the exchange rate now that investors and corporations are more likely to start coming back to Liberia?
Well, the government is forced on finding tax holidays for investors to kind of induce investors to be able to come and help to create jobs, to be able to create the kind of investment that our people most desire. So the central bank is doing its own macroeconomic policy, fiscal policy, engaging the inflation rate and the consumer price index of our country. Our economy is dollarized. It had to be dollarized. That before the silver crisis, Liberia used the U.S. dollar at legal tender.
Yes.
Currently, we have that's the parity ratio between the U.S. dollar and the Liberian dollar. So the central bank is doing everything to establish a policy program that will be able to encourage investors to come in, sometimes duty-free privilege to investors who want to import some materials, some equipment to come and invest in the country. So there are a lot of incentives for investors.
Good, good. And what improvements are being planned for the nation's infrastructure, such as roads, communication, or healthcare for that matter?
Like I said from the beginning, infrastructure is a big challenge for the government. Currently, there have been some roads being built. We have a Chinese company building roads from Monrovia to the northern part of the country. For the first time, there have been paved roads in some parts of the country, which is good news. However, there's still a challenge for roads in many other areas. With regards to electricity, the hydroelectric plant was done during the war. So currently, the government of Liberia is negotiating with the Millennium Challenge Corporation of the United States to see how the Mount Coffee hydroelectric power can be rebuilt. That negotiation is going on. So what should be starting soon, hopefully by December 2016, that infrastructure should come live. In terms of healthcare delivery system, there have been a few hospitals built, there have been some clinics built, but we need to build the capacity of healthcare workers. We lost 192 medical doctors and nurses as the result of the war.
Yes.
So those people have to be replaced. We have to train more nurses and doctors. So again, that's another key area for the government.
Thank you. And are there any plans, for example, to make Liberia, for example, a global or continental hub for anything in particular, say, becoming the solar manufacturer of Africa, for example, or the head country for some other commodity, for example?
Well, yes. Liberia, in the first place, has been seen, has demonstrated that they can be a beacon of hope in Africa. We have demonstrated that out of war we can show to the rest of the world that we can, demonstrate peace, practice democracy. So those lessons learned from Liberia are helping deliver our regional community, as well as when you talk about the infrastructure, again, solar power, which is new to most part of Africa. Liberia could just be a place that could be nurtured, so that the region could benefit from that. But most importantly, our rubber industry is a boost for our economy, except that the government would need to look at some value addition to build more factories so that the finished products there can be some manufacturing stuff just bringing the raw materials there. So Liberia could be a very good hub for plastic bags, or rubber materials, manufacturing in West Africa.
Excellent. How easy is it to start a business in Liberia today as opposed to, say, a few years ago?
Well, there have been tremendous improvement. I know that prior to the war, it would take you 2 weeks up to a month red tape bureaucracy to be able to establish business, but as a member of the cabinet in the last several years before coming to Washington, we realized that there was a one-stop shop entity built within the Ministry of Commerce, so that you can start a business in 72 hours. When a day, if you meet all the requirements in Liberia in 3 days' time, you have a certificate and you can start business.
Excellent, excellent. And what is being done to handle any institutional deficiencies, such as corruption or low access to credit in the country nowadays, in your opinion?
Those are two areas that we still have challenges. Access to credit could be a low-hanging fruit, but I mean it's just difficult because most of the people, low-income people, or people from the informal sector who would like to do business, sometimes they lack the collateral. They lack you go to the bank to get business loan, and you need collateral, you need some guarantee. So it has been a challenge now. When it comes to fighting corruption, the government has announced that corruption is public enemy number one. However, our justice system, the judicial system, has been slow. We lack some capacity in certain areas to be able to force that corruption fight. So we still see it as a challenge, but some level of improvement has been made just fine.
That's good to hear. If I came to Liberia as an outsider to do business, what would be the most important thing I'd need to know up front?
Well, as a non-Liberian, you have to be cognizant of the fact that there are areas of our business community that only belong to Liberia. There's a Liberianization policy. So if you are fully aware of that, then that means you're not going to be stumping your toes. You know exactly what you want to apply for. But there are guidelines. Once you meet those guidelines, even as a non-Liberian, you can start a business.
Understood. And what options are there for, say, African Americans to come home, as it were, and bring their money and their expertise back to Liberia?
Well, as you well know, Mohammed, Liberia was built by free Americans.
Yes.
And Liberians, no matter whether they are in the capital city or they are in the villages, they admire Americans, they admire the African American brothers, they admire those of our color who would want to come home and be like us, who want to come home and invest, who want to come home and create a job. So Liberia is an open environment when it comes to that, and we would want to encourage all African Americans to see Liberia as the next destination for business, next destination if you want to retire and go for vacation. A lot of Americans go to Liberia for vacation. When we have the winter here, a lot of Americans go to Liberia, and it's like our summer. And you go on nice beaches. We have 350 miles of coastal line. We have nice beaches for surfing and all those kind of things. It's a good place to go.
Well, that's good. Thank you. You already answered my next question. If you could address the entrepreneurs and the Liberian business people directly, what would you say to them?
I would be saying to them that Liberia is ready for business. Liberia is the place you want to consider in West Africa to do your business. They are friendly, Liberians are warm people. The government has policies that will be able to encourage you. Like I mentioned earlier, we'll have tax holidays for the new startups, and the labor is cheap. So it will be a good place that I would want to encourage any entrepreneur who want to come. Also want to encourage Liberians who are in the diaspora who would like to choose going back home to help build their country. That will be the best thing to do.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. And what do you think the Royal House and the Consulate can do to be instrumental in making the future development of Liberia a reality? In other words, what role do you think the Royal House and the Consulate should play in the economic development of Liberia?
I should say that we are once again thankful to the Chief for the role he has played, he continued to play during our Ebola crisis. The Royal House was instrumental in getting some materials to our brothers and sisters back home. The Royal House has been there for Africa, but we see the tremendous work that's being done in other countries. and we know they can do the same thing in Liberia. We look forward to working closely with the Royal House to see how business entrepreneurs can be encouraged. We need a lot of investors to go to Liberia. We have the airport that is lying there like a sleeping giant waiting. We have hotels that need to be rehabilitated, that need to be rebuilt. We have 650,000 housing deficits. I mean, so the opportunities are there, and we want to encourage the Royal House. I know you all have friends, we all have partners. We want, through the Royal House, to be instrumental in turning the tide so that a lot of investors will see Liberia as their next destination.
Excellent. Mr. Ambassador, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much for your time.
As you can see from the comments of Ambassador Sulunteh, there are opportunities in abundance in Liberia for native Liberians and foreigners and entrepreneurs from all over the world. Anyone willing to come to the country, learn about the markets, deal with the people, and understand the region as a whole is likely to do very well. Write to us with your comments. As always, we are happy to hear from you. We always look forward to your comments and your questions. And as usual, for all of you YouTube users and other file sharing service users, please always comment, rate, and subscribe to our videos. I'm your host, Mohammed Bey. Thank you for watching this special presentation of the Trade Brokers Diaries, Africa Open for Business. Thanks for watching, and take care.